All right, ladies and gentlemen, we could probably mark this video, hopefully, as the last video that we are going to talk about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and Rocksteady's Arkham universe. They got absolutely destroyed by this failure of a live service video game. Now, if you guys are unaware, and I wasn't aware because I didn't play the game, but apparently this was hinted at since the beginning, according to the people who were playing the game. Can't confirm it, but if you could confirm in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it. Apparently, the Batman that's in the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League that got killed by Harley Quinn apparently was a clone and not the real Batman because storyline? It's just so stupid. It really is stupid, ladies and gentlemen. I got to be honest with you. When I heard this story, the first thing that came in my mind is, oh, that sounds like they're scrambling, right? That sounds like kind of like a little bit of a band-aid on what they know was going to be a massive stain on the Arkham universe as Warner Brothers, runs away with their tail in between their legs and goes to make a single-player Batman game like they should have did before releasing this garbage game, but that's besides the point. That's what I thought initially when I read this stuff. I thought, wow, that really sounds like a band-aid that's happening right at the end just so they can save face before they release another game. But apparently, according to the people who played the game, they're saying that no, this has always been this way, and it was hinted at since the beginning that they weren't actually really the Justice League. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Part Plays. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. And again, guys, Rocksteady, we already know, man, this game lost $200 million plus. We know it's a massive failure. You wouldn't really have to bring that back up again. I want to focus on what's been revealed in terms of the storyline. So again, Rocksteady reveals Arkham Batman isn't actually dead in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League as the devs scramble to rewrite its $200 million disaster. After a tumultuous year defined by criticism, financial losses, and plummeting reputation, Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League had a absolutely disastrous live service run. And in the final twist, those beloved Justice League heroes, including Kevin Conroy's iconic Arkham Batman, weren't actually killed. They were clones. I mean, my God, bro. I got to tell you, this just leads even more evidence into the fact that Sweet Baby Inc. cannot write for shit. Okay? Because Sweet Baby Inc. was the one that was narrative consultants on this video game, right? And if you want to tell me the game wasn't woke, perfectly fine. But if you want to tell me that they didn't do anything in terms of the narrative, bro, what are we talking about now? They are the ones who actually consulted on the narrative for this game. And at this point, if they consulted on this and this is the story that they all decided to come up with the developers and Sweet Baby Inc. together, you guys are trash. Okay, you guys are absolute fucking trash. You really pulling this plot twist of, oh, they were just clones? Are you serious right now? What are we, 5? When's the last time you heard a story like that of, oh yeah, they're actually alive and the ones who were killed were clones? What are we doing? I just cannot believe it. For fans, the reaction isn't shock or relief. It's frustration. The damage is done. For this attempt at retconning the narrative only highlights Rocksteady's failure to respect the legacy of their characters and the expectations of its audience when it threw in with narrative design firm Sweet Baby Inc. I want to be very clear, too. If this game was a success, okay? If it was a success and it kept going for season upon season upon season, at what point do you say, okay, wow, so none of this mattered? Like, literally none of this mattered? I just played an entire game for 4 seasons for a year, and none of it mattered because the story never actually happened? Like, I didn't actually kill Batman. We didn't actually kill the Justice League at this point. Like, they were just all clones. Like, that's the story you're selling us right now. That's what I really want to believe. This is why when the fans for this game are telling me that this was hinted at in the story and it was already known for people who were playing, I gotta imagine, like, how could you play this game knowing that that was going to be the final outcome? Because that means everything you did leading up to that point would mean absolutely nothing. So what are we really doing here? How would they have continued the story after season 4 if this was the truth from the beginning? Would they start introducing Justice League characters at this point? Probably, because they rumored that Batman was going to be the next character after the one they just recently released in season 4. So maybe, but still, it sounds insane to me. I can't shake the feeling of a Band-Aid. I just can't. Even if people are saying, no, that was always supposed to be this way, I can't shake that feeling. It screams to me a Band-Aided story that is meant to allow them to continue the Arkham universe with little to no backlash regarding the story, right? That's what it says to me. Anyway, from the outset, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was controversial. The game dared to depict Harley Quinn shooting the Arkham vs. Batman, portrayed by the late Kevin Conroy, point blank. It wasn't just a jarring narrative choice, it felt like an insult to the character and the franchise. Rocksteady, once celebrated for its handling of the Batman mythos, turned its back on what made their Arkham series beloved, replacing tight storytelling with shallow spectacle and live service tropes. I gotta imagine, man, this story, I really just I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how this was your story from the beginning. I really don't. And I'm trying to struggle with the idea of like this is where they genuinely were trying to go with the story. And even if it was, it's garbage. It really is. This is bad storytelling, and it makes everything feel cheap. That's what it is. It makes it feel cheap. It makes the experience with the Justice League and the Suicide Squad feel cheap. It makes the fact that Harley Quinn killed Batman, as shocking as that was, it makes it feel cheap. All of it feels unbelievably cheap, and it just has that trope to it that I cannot escape the feeling. Fans hope that the multiverse introduced post-launch might be a way to salvage these characters, but the execution fell flat. Instead of a meaningful narrative arc, the updates felt like disjointed add-ons aimed at milking whatever audience remained with an effeminate Joker and a gender-swapped Mrs. Freeze who looked like a high school gym teacher, and more like Rosie O'Donnell, to be honest with you. The game's final cutscene, if you could call the illustrated panels a cutscene, reveals that the Justice League members killed by the Suicide Squad were actually clones, a plot hatched by Batman to trick Brainiac. This revelation, delivered nearly a year after the game's launch, reeks of desperation. It's as if Rocksteady is trying to say, just kidding, don't be mad, but fans aren't laughing. That's exactly what it comes off as. Just kidding. We're just kidding. We weren't serious here. That's really what it comes off as. And again, even if that's how it was supposed to be from the beginning, that is just really, really bad storytelling. And I gotta imagine that SBI was involved to some extent with this storytelling for it to be this bad, because Rocksteady, even though it's not the same Rocksteady as it was before, I get that. But Rocksteady, the people who made the Arkham universe, you mean to tell me that those guys, right? Those guys, even though they're not really around anymore, but the people who came after them, I mean, what are we fucking doing? That's really what I want to say. That's what, like, at a certain point, this is where I really want to say, this is not where I thought this was all going to be culminating into. When I thought the final video I would make about Suicide Squad, this is not what I thought I would be talking about. The twist doesn't erase the original campaign's failures or the blatant disregard for fans' expectations. It's too little too late. Worse, Wonder Woman's death in the campaign wasn't a clone. It was her, confirming that even this retcon couldn't undo all the damage. Oh, so you guys truthfully killed off Wonder Woman. That is interesting. Oh my God. That's actually pretty funny. Wait, so Wonder Woman actually gets killed off, but everybody else was a clone. Wow, that is just, this is fantastic, man. Adding insult to the injury, the cutscene itself wasn't even fully animated. Rocksteady, hamstrung by layoffs and dwindling resources, settled for comic book-inspired illustrations. This half-hearted approach underscores the steep decline of a developer once hailed as a gold standard for superhero games. Okay, so if it wasn't animated, if it wasn't actually animated and it was one of those like panel cutscenes showing a bunch of different comic strips, then I really do feel like it was band-aided. Because that means they made it at the last minute. That means like they didn't put time into it. They didn't actually make a fully fleshed out cutscene. They just used panels. So that screams to me that that was a band-aid, that wasn't something that was meant since the beginning. But again, I have all the fans of the game, which again, maybe they're lying to me, but I have the fans of the game over on X trying to say that this was how it's supposed to be since the beginning, and it was hinted at since the start. Whether that's true or not, I don't really know. And honestly, I don't really care. This game's absolute trash. And this is just the final nail in the coffin of an absolute terrible legacy over the last year known as Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.